All right, to begin with, you need to think about what I'm going to call the 3 C's here. You need to think about the fact that online teaching involves a whole set of collaborations. The C of collaboration is absolutely vital to online teaching, and the jump you have to make as a faculty member to that collaborative space is more challenging than you might think initially. We're so accustomed to speaking from the podium on our own, to going through grad school on our own, to writing our books and our articles generally on our own. And if we collaborate, it's normally within a very tightly knit sort of research team. But online teaching involves these new collaborations with folks like yourself, the videographer, but with instructional designers, with a whole host of people who are giving you advice on how to structure your lessons so they fit into a learning management system effectively. And to really benefit from those collaborative possibilities, you have to enter it into with a sort of a spirit of experimentation and a willingness to take advice from other people, to be a bit more flexible than you might normally be working with colleagues in a fixed departmental sort of division of labor. So that's the first C, collaboration. The next C is contracts. I think it's important for all faculty who are beginning to think about teaching online to look quite carefully at the contracts that they're offered, and to recognize that the contracts sometimes have implications for who owns the intellectual property of the recorded videos and the online materials in general. These contracts in universities across the United States are constantly being rethought and re-examined by university administrations who are sometimes trying to encourage more faculty to do online teaching and to create a legal system that will make that more attractive. So I think it's a moving target, and personally I think where universities ought to be heading is towards a more shared notion of the intellectual property, that where there's joint stewardship of the IP from both the faculty side and the administration side. And hopefully by getting involved in online teaching with that in mind, you can help shift the sort of philosophy and the contractual ideas on your own campus. And then the third C is the C of context more generally. I think it's really important to go into online teaching thinking quite carefully about how the wider context of higher education is shifting, how a lot of for-profit interests are coming in and trying to shape some online teaching. Groups like Pearson, for example, that's done deals with Pearson Embanet with Arizona State University in Florida, and where there's a lot of sort of corporatizing, privatizing interest coming into play in what were formerly public universities. And you need to go into online teaching knowing that those dynamics are happening, but also being aware of the fact that in many public universities, online education isn't being driven by the private sector interests and the privatizing for-profit interests, and that many publics are actually trying to innovate with online teaching in ways that widen access to the campus and widen access to to new students, but in a way that preserves the public integrity of the university and the mission of the university of training and teaching, I should say teaching, for citizenship.